If my assignment is to extend the healthy life expectancy for marginalized communities, and I know that's going to take some years worth of work, I have to do everything I can in my power to extend my life expectancy first. If I'm going to be out here working for other people on behalf of their health and their well-being, I got to make sure my health and my well-being is optimal first before I can do it for other people. That's why my health is my competitive advantage, because I just looked at the data. Optimal health is not a privilege, it's a right. However, unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of health challenges today can be attributed to lifestyle. This includes our physical activity, the quality of our relationships, stress, purpose and fulfillment, and of course, our diet. But what if there was an alternative? What if we could prevent and combat these health challenges with lifestyle changes before pills and procedures? You are listening to the Plant Protocol podcast with yours truly, plant-based health and business coach, and now the forever voice in your head, Lisa A. Smith. It's time to come get this health. So I recently made a post on social media that you guys are loving. Like, it's going viral as we speak. And I just made this post just a few days ago. And the message in the post was quite simple. I simply said, if you want to outsmart the competition, all you have to do is eat better than them. Listen, here's the truth. Most people think that your competitive advantage comes from your hustle. Most people think your competitive advantage comes from your ability to be clever. But if your health is out of order, your ambition will eventually burn out. If your health is out of order, your ambition would eventually burn out. So I want to dedicate today's Monday morning keynote to outfueling the competition, because this post went so viral and has gotten so much interaction since I posted it that it's clearly something that people need to hear, need to better understand, and most importantly, have never considered when it comes to getting ahead in business and life. See, my ambition, y'all, it doesn't come from burning the midnight oil. It comes from what I put in my body every single day. And it comes from what I don't put in my body every single day. It comes from how I treat my body. My ambition and my endurance over the past decade has been fueled by my health. It's been fueled by my health. And that's the God honest truth. And I attribute a lot of my success in business to my health, to the quality of my mind, and to the quality of my body. So my creativity, it's actually sharper because I don't eat sugar. Like, my focus, it's locked in because I drink water every day, right? I have the ability to concentrate. I can focus because I don't have hyperactivity in the brain and a bunch of food dyes and things that's causing my brain to be hyperactive, right? My resilience is built under the weights when I train my mind and my body through weightlifting, through cardio, through HIIT training, right? All of that makes a huge difference. So everybody talks about competitive advantage, and we talk about the grind culture, and we talk about the hustle, but the truth is your health is what makes the difference. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what it takes to really take your health to the next level. And so one of the things that I'm hoping you walk away with today is the importance of putting your health first. I know a lot of times we get in seasons of life where our family comes first, our career comes first, obligations to other people comes first. Maybe you're a caregiver for someone you love, and that comes first. And I understand that we get into certain seasons where it feels like that maybe those things should take priority. But what we don't realize is that a lot of times, if we made our health first, if we prioritized what we ate, how we moved, how we performed, that would significantly improve our ability to get ahead faster. That would significantly improve our ability to outperform the competition, especially if you're in business. So everybody talks about being successful and talks about hustle. And one of the things I noticed a while ago when I study and listen to entrepreneurs and their origin story, I noticed a while ago this like trend. And I would notice that when they're telling their stories, they would always talk about how much they grinded to get to where they are, to have the success that they have. And then it wasn't until they had the success and they made the money that they then gave themselves permission to take care of their health. I heard that over and over again. I even have personal coaches who did that. Like they kind of wore themselves out getting to the top. And then once they were at the top, then they were like, okay, my health has taken a back seat. I need to do something about it. It's time to switch this thing around. And what I'm hoping you guys get from this message today is it should happen in the opposite order. Make your health the priority first, and then climb and claw your way to the top, because you actually don't sweat as hard. You actually don't work as hard when your health is optimal. You have to grind to be creative when your health and your mind is compromised. Like you have to grind to come up with good content. You have to grind to think and create and endure, physically endure the demands of your work when you are unwell, when you are overweight, when you are depleted, right? When you are deficient in some critical nutrient. And so I want to encourage you guys to put the health first. And let me tell you, many of you might not know this about me, but my company used to be called Professionally Fit. Matter of fact, I decided to bring my mug today from my Professionally Fit days. So look at this, y'all. Look at my mug. This is my Professionally Fit mug. This used to be my company name. And why am I telling you that? It used to also be my podcast name. I used to have a podcast called the Professionally Fit Podcast. And that's important because I need you guys to know how long I've been dedicated to being professionally fit. So Professionally Fit, back when I had an online personal training company, this was my platform where I helped entrepreneurs, executives, professionals basically optimize their health so they could perform better in business. So I have actually been preaching this message since about 2016, 2017. Like Professionally Fit was the company name. So this whole theme is not new. I've been talking about the importance of utilizing your health as an advantage in your business for years. Named my whole company Professionally Fit. And so when I thought about this morning, when I was making my tea, I opened up the cupboard and I saw my Professionally Fit mug. And I was like, yo, this is perfect for today because this is exactly what I'm talking about. So today it's just really all about how and why you need to be professionally fit. Right? Professionally fit. We were called executive wellness for professionals, executive wellness for high performing professionals. That was our tagline, y'all. Executive wellness for high performing professionals, right? So I ain't new to this. I'm not new to this. I've been talking about this the whole time, but this post resonated so much with you guys. So I want to tell you, why is your health a competitive advantage? And it's very simple. It's because the clarity you need for creativity comes from how you fuel your mind, right? The stamina you need. I'm in a super, super high busy season right now. And this busy season is going to go through the end of October. So I've been traveling for the last several weeks. I'll be traveling for the next several weeks. And y'all know the toll that traveling can take on you, right? You're going from airport to airport. Sometimes you got to rent cars and drive and be on the road. You know, you're staying in different hotels. Some of my flights, I have layovers, so I have to sit in airports. And then with all of that, I still have to stay on top of the day-to-day of the business. So I'm in airport lounges doing work. Sometimes I have interviews or coaching sessions, right? So I'm in different hotels and hotel lobbies doing work. And then I also have to get on these stages and speak and deliver a dynamic message. Stamina. All of that requires stamina. All of that requires endurance. All of that requires creativity. Because my stuff is original, right? I like original content. I don't like to repurpose everything all the time. Some messages are just staples that need to stay the same, right? Because they hold so true and they're timeless. But I like to package them a little differently sometimes. I like to tell different stories when I deliver my talks. When I get into coaching sessions with our clients, I like to be completely present. My listening skills need to be good. All of that needs to be optimal. And so the mental clarity that's required for creativity, the mental clarity that's required to focus and concentrate. I didn't even tell you guys know I'm writing a book right now. Like all of that requires the best version of me. And so my health has to be my competitive advantage. It's non-negotiable. Because listen to this part, and this is the part I need you guys to really lean in and understand. This is huge. I'm learning this as I climb the ladder in entrepreneurship. The higher up you go professionally, the more you begin to look like other people. Like when you're first starting out in your career, whether you're a 9 to 5 or an entrepreneur, it's really a mixed bag. Now, I don't say this to insult anybody. I don't say this to be demeaning, but the lower you are on the totem pole, right, there really is a mixed bag of people, right? So what I mean is like the lower you are in the hierarchy of the company and the organizational structure, there's a mixed bag of levels of expertise, meaning everyone isn't on the same level intellectually. Everyone isn't on the same level when it comes to mastery. Like the lower you are, I remember when I worked in a call center, for example, I used to work for information. Do y'all remember 411? So there used to be a number you can call 411 to get information. And so I used to work in a call center for information. And in that call center, we were all on different levels. Like it was a mixing pot of intelligence. It was a mixing pot of mastery. It was a mixing pot when it comes to our ability to communicate and be articulate. It was a mixing pot when it came to our strength with emotional intelligence, right? So you are all over the place the lower you are on the totem pole in your career, right? However, the higher you are on the totem pole, so as you begin to climb the ladder, if you are in a 9 to 5, and as you begin to climb the ladder and you come out of just, the call center and the worker, and you start graduating to like management and middle management, and some of you guys go on to C-suite, and some of you guys go on to make partner, and as you climb up, and entrepreneurship, the same thing. The more years you put in business, and as you get better every year, and as you refine your mastery, and as you get more recognition, and as you start getting bigger opportunities, and as your revenue continues to climb, and your public persona continues to climb, the higher up you go, the more we start looking alike. And what I don't mean physically, I'm talking about intellectually. I'm talking about talent-wise. What I'm saying is the level I'm on, and I'm not even on the highest level, nowhere near it. But the level I'm on, me and my peers, there's not as much diversity when it comes to our work ethic. See, the lower you are on the totem pole, there's a lot of diversity in the work ethic among workers. Like when I was in that call center, some of us were adamant. We on time, we on top of our job, we logging in on time, we're doing good. Then there's other people, they slacking, they barely showing up, they on a calls, half sleep. Like there's a huge variety in our work ethic and our work quality. But the higher you go up, there's less variety. So my peers where I am now, we all are hard workers. We all have a strong work ethic. We all have mastered our respective fields. Like any one of us, you can hand us the mic and we're going to kill it. So why is that important? Why did I just take all that time to break it down to you? Because what I'm saying is the higher up you go and the better you get in business or in your career, the details start mattering. See, when you're lower, you can be exceptional much easier. Like the lower you are on the totem pole, it is much easier to stand out and be exceptional, right? Because there's such a variety in how people show up to the job. But the higher up you go, C-suite, partner, executive, founder, owner, CEO, the higher up you go, the less diversity it is when it comes to mastery, when it comes to intelligence, when it comes to work ethic, when it comes to being articulate and being able to communicate, when it comes to emotional intelligence. Don't get me wrong, there's still some variety, but there's not as much. So now the higher up you go, the more strategic you have to start thinking. Like it's not as easy to be exceptional because we all have portrayed exceptional qualities to get to where we are. So what's going to be the difference between me and another speaker? What's going to be the difference between my proposal and somebody else's proposal for the opportunity? It is the small details like how we eat. I'm not even joking. It is now the small details like how much we prioritize rest and sleep. Like the thing that's going to help me to outperform the people that are on my level is not going to be just about I show up on time and I stand out. We all are prompt on this level. We all are articulate on this level. We all have mastered our subject matter on this level. So if I want a competitive advantage, I got to look at the small details. Now, we're all checking the boxes on the big stuff. Now it's going to be about who has a food addiction, a sugar addiction, who's deconditioned because they don't work out, like whose health, mind, creativity, clarity is compromised because of the way they eat. That's going to be the difference between me and the person sitting next to me. That's going to be the difference between me and the people who are also gunning for the same opportunities, right? It is going to be who is fueling up the best so that they can be the most creative, the most clever, the quickest to respond. That's it. Like now, when they say the early bird gets the worm, that really matters when you get to the top, right? Because if I only need 5 hours of sleep because I'm not full of a whole bunch of junk, processed food, fast food, junk food, that means I can get up and get at them much quicker than the average person. So it is at this level where outfueling the competition matters the most. Does that make sense, y'all? There's a certain level where the detail, the fine details, the small print becomes your competitive advantage. It's literally the fact that I'm drinking uncaffeinated herbal tea. And right now, my competitor is across town or across the country, and they are drinking an energy drink. They're going to crash in about 4 or 5 hours. I'm still going to be up creating fire content. Do you see what I'm saying? Like this stuff is serious. This stuff is serious. So I need you guys to understand the discipline that I exercise in my diet, the discipline that I exercise in the gym, in the kitchen, in my daily life is what gives me the competitive edge. It's what gives me the edge. It is now the details that matter. You know, several months ago, me and Kiwi went live together and we broke down how we developed a spirit of excellence and we defined what a spirit of excellence is. And I said during that conversation, the exact same thing. I compared it to Kiwi training to take the stage, right? So she is a bodybuilder. She is a lifter and she competes competitively on the stage. And I told them, it is at that stage, like by the time you have qualified for a show, right? To do a show, to do a bodybuilding show. By the time you have qualified to do a show, everybody that's about to be on the stage next to you, y'all all doing the same things in general. Y'all doing 2 a days, 3 a days. Y'all counting y'all macros, right? You guys are doing a specific amount of cardio. You guys are eating a specific amount of protein, carbs, and fats. You guys are drinking a specific amount of water. When by the time you are a bodybuilder, everything that you have to do to even have a body that looks like that, you and all your competitors done mastered it. That's not the part that's going to make you stand out. It's going to be the details that determines who takes first place when you get on stage as a bodybuilder. It's going to be like, oh, who literally, like when it was time to dry out, right? When it was time to lean out, like who did it a week early, who did it a week late, and who did it at the exact same time they were supposed to in their training up to the competition. It's going to be the small details, like what time of day do you stop eating? Like it's going to be who added 1 or 2 extra ounces of protein on the scale and who measured it precisely. Like those are the details that matter when you are trying to take first place as a bodybuilder. And those are the details that matter when you're trying to take first place in your career. It's going to be about who's fueling up with warm lemon water and herbal tea versus energy drinks, donuts, cakes, cookies. It's going to be about who's going to bed at an adequate time and getting optimal rest versus who's staying up thinking they can burn the midnight hour, but the quality of their work is so compromised because they're so doggone tired, they're seeing cross-eyed. It is at this level where the details determines your competitive advantage. Like I'm not competing with people who are slouches. I'm not competing with people who too lazy to do content consistently. They posting every day just like me. Like I'm not competing with people who abandon a business for 1 or 2 months and then come back to it. That's not even my competition. I'm not competing with people who've never got a sale before, who hasn't mastered marketing, who hasn't mastered sales. I'm not competing with people who don't study their subject matter so that they're always sharp and ready for any questioning that gets thrown at them. They're all doing that just like me. They're all doing that just like me. And so outworking them is not an option. We all are on top of it. Like I'm in rooms with people, I'm in masterminds with people, I'm in communities with people where we just think differently. Like we don't have stage fright, we don't have camera fright. That's not the competition. And some people start there. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm telling you is there's a level that you get to where the details matter. So let me give you some of those details before we wrap up today. So how do I eat better? How do I move to fuel my competitive advantage, to fuel my ambition? Let me break it down for you guys. First things first, you guys all know this about me, but I'm going to say it a million times. I do not eat refined processed sugar. I don't eat it. It compromises the brain. So not only does it compromise the body from the neck down, right? I don't want to minimize the damage that refined processed sugar can do to the body, right? It significantly increases inflammation. It significantly increases your weight. It significantly dehydrates us. It causes neuropathy. Sugar is so dangerous for the body, right? It increases your chances of insulin resistance. When you have elevated levels of blood sugar over time, it increases your chances for Alzheimer's. Like, dangerous. But I'm not worried about any of that stuff. The main thing that I'm worried about, which is the reason why I don't touch refined sugar, is that it also compromises your memory. It compromises your recall. It compromises your ability to focus and concentrate. And I need to be able to do that to create on the level I am on. Let me tell you guys something. For the last 3 weekends, I've had to speak. So the second weekend in September, I spoke in Georgia at a women's conference. And I facilitated 2 breakout sessions. So I needed to fly there. Then when I flew to ATL, I had an 1.5-hour drive to Midland, Georgia. And I had to get on stage back to back, facilitate 2 breakout sessions to a room full of women. I had to come up with the content for that. I had to be on, I had to be present, I had to be energized, right? The following weekend, I was in Atlanta. And I spoke on the women's panel for Anchored Conference, right? Same thing. I was the moderator for the panel. I was the moderator and a participant. So I came up with the questions and I had to organize and I had to think through how I wanted the panel to flow. Then this past weekend, 2 days ago, right, I was in Lansing, Michigan, speaking at a Place of Change Ministries for the kickoff of a week-long health series. That week-long health series started yesterday. I am teaching every day from yesterday to October 3rd. Every day I'm teaching health and I got to be on. Then last night in the final hour, APOC came calling me and they said, can you speak tomorrow morning during our women's ministry call and talk about shame and talk about the shame around your health? I said, without hesitating, I said, absolutely. Absolutely. And I was ready. And I delivered a message as if I had been planning for 2-3 weeks, when really I only planned for like an hour, maybe 30 minutes. I need you guys to understand at this level, the demands that are on my gift, praise God. I'm so blessed. The demand for my gift requires that I eat like I got some sense. I can't afford the sugar. The demand for my gift requires that I'm sugar-free. I'm not worried about diabetes and obesity and heart disease. I'm worried about memory loss and brain fog more than I am worried about my waistline and insulin resistance. So how do I eat to be better than a competition? I don't consume refined sugar. Let me tell you something else I don't do. I don't consume ultra-processed foods. Why? Because the food dyes, the chemicals, the preservatives that are in these things significantly compromises the health of the body and, most importantly, the gut. Why do I protect my gut so much? Why is my stomach, why is my microbiome, why is my gut a competitive advantage? It's because your gut is your second brain. Your gut is where over 80% of your immune system is housed. Your gut is where over 80% of serotonin is produced. So let's talk about mood and sleep and hormone regulation. Let's talk about your ability to navigate your emotions. The gut is everything. It's the foundation of everything. So why don't I eat ultra processed foods? Why do I eat a high fiber diet? It is because my gut dictates the quality of my health. My gut ensures that I don't catch colds and I don't get sick as I'm jumping on plane after plane, flight after flight. This is my competitive advantage. It's the fact that somebody can call me on Wednesday and be like, we need you to be here on Sunday. And I feel good enough to do it. I'm not coughing, not sniffling. I don't have mucus coming out of my throat, eyes, and nose. My stomach feels good. I can move through the world with optimal health because I don't eat ultra processed foods. The demand for my gift requires that I don't eat the foolishness. This is my competitive advantage. It's my endurance. It's the fact that I can navigate through the world with a clear mind and a healthy body. Let me tell you something else I don't do. That's number 2. First, I don't eat refined sugar. Number 2, I don't eat ultra processed foods. Number 3, I don't consume a whole lot of saturated fat, trans fat, and cholesterol. This is mostly coming from animal products. So you guys know I am plant-based. I am vegan, right? I don't eat meat, eggs, dairy, seafood, none of it. And part of the reason for that is because the number 1 cause of death in the US is heart disease. Now, heart disease comes from clogged arteries. Clogged arteries, from a dietary perspective, there's a bunch of stuff that clogs your arteries, smoking, stress. But clogged arteries are mostly clogged from food. So I was like, all I did to stop eating animal products is look at the numbers. Those of you who are like brainiacs like me and you're like the science makes a difference and data makes a difference and you allow data to inform your decisions. Here's some data for you. Over 700,000 people die every year from heart failure, heart attack, stroke, congestive heart failure. Over 700,000 people die every year from congestive heart failure, heart attacks, strokes, right? I was like, okay, boom, let me figure this out. Now, there's no gene for heart disease. There's no gene for clogged arteries, which means if I want to avoid the heart disease that's killing over 700,000 people a year, I need to stop eating the stuff that's clogging the arteries, right? This is just a data decision. It was just a data. I looked at the data. I said, okay, all of these people are dying from what's on the end of their fork. So they're not dying from their genetic makeup. They're not dying from an airborne disease. They're not dying from an infectious disease. Out of all the advancements in medicine and technology, the overwhelming number of people, we dying from what's on the end of our fork. Now, last time I checked, what was on the end of our fork was our choice. You mean to tell me heart disease is optional? That's crazy. You mean to tell me I can just make a decision not to die from heart disease, not to die from heart failure? So I looked, okay, well, what clogs the arteries the most? Oh, it is saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, sugar. Got it? I'm not eating none of that. It's so simple. So if I don't want angina, if I don't want clogged arteries, if I don't want a capillary or a vein to be clogged that leads to my brain and ends up in a stroke, I just need not eat the stuff that clogs the arteries to the brain and to the heart. It was that simple for me. If my assignment is to extend the healthy life expectancy for marginalized communities, and I know that's going to take some years worth of work, I have to do everything I can in my power to extend my life expectancy first. If I'm going to be out here working for other people on behalf of their health and their well-being, I got to make sure my health and my well-being is optimal first before I can do it for other people. My assignment is going to take years more. I need decades more years of health to fulfill the assignment that God has given me. That's why my health is my competitive advantage, because I just looked at the data. I said, what is causing everybody else's dreams and assignments to end up in a graveyard. Clogged arteries. You mean to tell me it's not the air I'm breathing that I don't have control over? Are you kidding me? You're telling me it's what's on the end of my fork? Are you kidding me? This was the best and the worst news I ever learned, right? I'm in control. And so I don't eat the stuff that clogs the arteries that kills over 700,000 people a year. What a blessing. Okay, listen, here's the last one I want to give y'all. When it comes to food, all right? And I'm going to give you guys one that doesn't have to do with food. This is one of the most powerful things you can do for your executive functioning, for your mind, and for your ability to have optimal mental clarity, right? If you want to create good content, if you want to come up with better ideas in the office, if you want to stand out in the boardroom, one of the best things you can do for yourself from a health perspective is fast. Fasting is so powerful. My brain is sharp because I fast, like giving your digestive system a rest. So our digestive system spends so much time and energy digesting food. We expel so much energy on digestion. So when you intentionally fast 12 or more hours a day, it changes the game for how you rest, how you sleep, how food moves through your body, how much food it even takes to fill you up. You just naturally eat less when you fast. Like fasting is such a powerful tool. So fasting is something else I do to give myself a competitive advantage. I've been intermittent fasting for years, and giving my body that break from digesting is such, it reroutes that energy to do so many other amazing things biologically in your body. It changes the game. Like here I am on stage, clear. Meanwhile, my colleagues, they struggling, right? They done had 2.5 cups of coffee full of sugar and dairy, right? They ate something out of the drive-thru and grabbed something out of the drive-thru real quick before they came in. Not me. I haven't ate at all, right? I'm so clear. Or if I have, I've eaten a salad, I've eaten a smoothie. Like I've been intentional about how I'm fueled up so that I can leave an impression with everything that I do. So no refined sugar, no ultra processed food. Got rid of the trans fat, the cholesterol, the saturated fat from all of the animal products and all of the dairy, right? I fast on a regular basis, meaning I give my body a break from digestion so that it can reroute the energy to do a ton of other biological functions. It's a big deal. And the final piece I'll give you guys is exercise. Now, y'all know this already, right? But I remember I was studying something years ago, and this lady, I think she was a brain doctor, she was just talking about how people don't realize how much our brain, grows throughout our life. But then also she was like, how you can naturally improve your memory. She was talking about how you can naturally improve your memory through exercise and how exercise plays a major role in your ability to recall. And I was like, whoa, that's dope. And so luckily I'm already like committed to exercise. Like it's not hard for me to exercise. I know for some of us, it's very hard for us to exercise, but not for me. I love it. I used to be a personal trainer. I love exercise. So it's very easy. But when I started learning the benefits beyond the physical, that's when it went to a whole nother level. So the gym is my office. Like when I'm in the gym, I make decisions. When I'm on the Stairmaster, y'all, that's where I come up with some of my best content. When I'm doing sprints, uphill sprints, that is when the magic happens. Like businesses, ideas, products, services have been born in the gym. Our revenue has went to a whole nother level in the gym. And so my exercise is non-negotiable. Remember, I told you guys earlier that they called me last night in the final hour to ask me to speak this morning on the women's prayer call, right? And so I was like, shoot, that means I'm going to have to alter my morning routine. So, I get up and I work out. I do my meditation. I drink my warm lemon water, right? All of these things. But when they told me they needed me to speak on the women's prayer call, which was at 7 a.m., I was like, oh, I got to change my morning schedule. Guess what I didn't say? I didn't say, well, I guess I'll skip my workout, or I guess I'll try and move it and hope I get back around to it. I was like, oh, that means I got to get up earlier to get my workout in so I can then be camera ready for the call this morning. So that's exactly what I did, right? So I was up and I was able to do my cardio and do my workout as originally planned, even though I had a last minute addition to my schedule. And you want to know why I'm that dedicated? It's not because I'm worried about the physical as much as I'm worried about my ability to think clearly. I know that a good workout is where good ideas come from. So when I was working out this morning, when I was doing my mountain climbers, and when I was doing my high knees, and when I was doing my burpees, I did burpees, y'all, today. I had to do 1 minute of burpees 4 times. God bless it. When I was doing my burpees today, that's when I started getting more divine downloads for the message that I wanted to deliver on the prayer call. It was amazing. Y'all don't understand how much I love this system. I'm giving y'all a cheat code right now. I don't know. Is it anybody who's on right now? I saw Angie on earlier. I don't know if Kiwi is still on. I know y'all be on the prayer call. Who was on the prayer call this morning and heard me speak? And what did I talk about? Like, I had a whole title for my message today. I had points I wanted to make. It was like I had been planning for weeks or months, but all I really did is have a solid workout. And that's where the ideas came. Like, I'm doing my burpees, I'm doing my high knees, I'm doing my lunges. And that is when I got the idea. Oh, okay, say it to them like this. Okay, break it down like this. Okay, use this story, tell this story. It all flooded to me in the midst of a workout. I'm telling you, my health is my competitive advantage. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. And so that's what I need you guys to embody. A lot of times we think, I have something that I've said. Let me see if I can remember it. To compromise your health is not a sacrifice. It's a bad decision. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times we use the word sacrifice to explain why we have let our health fall by the wayside. We say we sacrifice so that we can make our babies a priority. We say we sacrifice so we can make our career priority. We use the word sacrifice to explain why we have allowed ourselves to gain weight, to let our health get out of control, while we have allowed ourselves to lose our momentum with exercise. We use the word sacrifice to explain why we have allowed ourselves to succumb to food, and we call it a sacrifice. I've made all these sacrifices over the years for my family, for my career, for taking care of other people. But I'm here to reframe that for you. Anything that requires you to compromise your health is not a sacrifice, it's a bad decision. That's not a sacrifice. That's not the type of sacrifices you should be making. Anything that requires you to compromise your health is not a sacrifice. It's a bad decision. You're not making sacrifices. You're making bad decisions. You're not making sacrifices. You're making bad decisions. Please learn the difference. Stop thinking that there is something okay with skipping your morning routine. Stop thinking there's something okay with missing days and weeks of workouts. Stop thinking there's something okay with only using supplements and powders and pills for nutrition and not taking the time to eat whole, real fruits and vegetables and fiber. Stop thinking there's something okay with using coffee and caffeine and energy drinks for fuel instead of water and herbal tea and proper sleep. That's not sacrifice. Not sacrifice and sleep is not a sacrifice. It's a bad decision. Y'all done glorified sacrifice so much that you done made getting a chronic disease a sacrifice. Getting a chronic disease is not a sacrifice. It's a bad decision. You mean to tell me you sacrificed your health for so long that now you got high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and kidney failure? That wasn't sacrifice. Those were years of bad decisions. It was a bad decision to choose everybody over you. That wasn't a sacrifice. Stop glorifying it. That's a word that we use to glorify something that seems and appears admirable. I sacrificed my well-being and my sleep and my wholeness and what I love. I sacrificed my purpose and my mission and my assignment so that I can care for others. No, you made bad decisions for 10 years. You never should have done that. There is nothing on this earth that should come before your well-being. How on God's green earth is it okay to sacrifice your health to pour into other people? Matter of fact, you're making a worse decision because not only are you sacrificing and compromising your life expectancy and your health span, but you're making a conscious decision to show up as less than your best for the people you claim you sacrificing for. That is wrong for me to make a conscious decision to be less than my best for the people that I say I care the most about in this world. How is that a sacrifice? That's just a boatload of bad decisions. That's just a truckload of bad decisions. That's just a U-Haul full of bad decisions. So stop it. So not only should we be prioritizing our health for the sake of a competitive advantage in our career, whether it's entrepreneur or 9 to 5, we should also be compromising our health for a competitive advantage in life. If you want to have a competitive advantage in your relationship, in your marriage, in your relationship with your children, in your relationship with your friends and family, take care of yourself. That's the advantage. If you're looking left and you're looking right and you're like, oh, all these relationships of 50% end in divorce and all of this happens and I want to be able, I can't run up and down the street with my grandbaby or with my baby. If you want a competitive advantage in your relationship with your grandbaby and your nieces and nephews, if you want to be able to get up and down off the ground, if you want to run and play hide and seek with them, the competitive advantage in those relationships is your health. That's it. Sacrificing is not doing anything but committing to giving a less than optimal version of yourself to the people you say you love. And that, my friends, is a bad decision. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I want to make sure you understand that eating right, sleeping right, resting right, getting out in nature, getting fresh sunlight, getting fresh water, taking those respites, that is the advantage in every relationship and every career and every job and every industry. When you start climbing to the top, the details matter. So you can really outperform somebody based on the beverage you choose to have every morning. That's crazy. Listen, I love it. Until then, you guys go eat like you got some sense. Bye, y'all. You tuned in today because, like me, you refuse to let your good become the enemy of your great. You're not settling for good health when optimal is well within reach. If you're ready to go from good to great, visit lisaangelsmith.com to learn more about our plant-based health coaching program, Farm to Table, and our plant-based business accelerator and coaching certification. But before you go, if you enjoyed what you heard today, please consider rating and reviewing this podcast. Until next time, remember, radical obedience is still undefeated. Stay obedient.